Hi, I'm Mark, and welcome to this video on how to build an automatic water elevator. Now, with the release of version 1.13 of Minecraft, we got some really cool new water dynamics. And these new water dynamics are what make a water elevator like this possible. Let me show you the design I came up with. It really is pretty straightforward. You walk into the water column and you go shooting straight up. Cool, huh? Now, if I turn around and go back into the water, I go right back down. Not quite as fast, but pretty close. Now what's happening is part of that new water dynamic, and it has to do with two blocks, soul sand and a magma block. If soul sand is at the bottom of a column of water, it'll push you up. If a magma block is at the bottom of a column of water, it'll suck you down. Now one important point though is that the column of water has to be all source blocks. In other words, you cannot put a bucket of water at the top and let it flow down. It won't work. You have to place each block of water with a bucket one at a time. Now, my tower is 14 blocks tall, but you can make this any height you want. That's the cool thing about this elevator is it will go up to the build limit if you want. And the way I designed it is that it is infinitely buildable up. I used cascading redstone torches for the power in the back. So make it as big as you want. But let me show you how to build the 14 tall one. Here's what you're going to need. Some pistons, some redstone torches and redstone for that whole mechanism. And then the magma block and the soul sand block. Some glass. Now this can be anything you want. I used glass so you could see what I was doing. Some signs to hold the water back. Some sandstone to make it pretty. Smooth quartz for all the redstone so you could easily see what I was doing. And some pressure plates to trigger the up and down mechanisms, and then some wood for the platform at the top. And of course water. So the first thing I need to do is gather all this stuff up so I can actually work with it. There. First thing we want to do is put in our pistons. And then we're going to put in our blocks. We'll put our magma on the left and our soul sand on the right. Grab my redstone here. And this will power the piston that makes us go up. So let's put some soul sand there. Get our pressure plate, which of course we just switched out. I'm sorry, not soul sand, sandstone. Now watch what happens if I step on this pressure plate. Pushes the soul sand into position. Let's cover this up with sandstone to make it a little prettier. There we go. Now we're going to build our entranceway. Now again, this entranceway can be anything you want it to be, but two important things are the signs. The signs are what keep the water from flowing out. And we're just going to put elevator on this one. Okay, so there's our entrance. Now we need to build our shaft. I can hear you giggling. Stop giggling. This will be where the water goes. And this has got to be 14 tall for this design. But again, you can build this any height you want. So we're at 4, right? Yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, isn't this exciting? 13, 14. All right, let's make sure it's at the right height here. Nope, it's not. I made it one too tall. I got to learn how to count. Yep, there we go. Okay, now we're going to put our little platform on the top. Now this would be the floor in your building that the elevator comes to or whatever. I'm just going to put this platform here so that I've got something to stand on when I'm at the top. I'm going to get rid of this one and put that there. And then we'll do this. I'm going to make this one a little smaller, I think, so it doesn't take as long to do. There. And we'll put some fences up so we don't die, because dying's bad. You're saying, you're in creative, Mark. You're not going to die. Well, I am going to switch to survival before I wrap up this video, because I want to show you something. Maybe get your input on it as well. Okay, there's our little platform. Now we're going to put a pressure plate up here as well. Right there. All right. So as you can see, we've got our platform a little smaller than this one. And we've got our pressure plate, got our column. Now we didn't put any water in it yet, so let's take care of that. Now because I'm in creative, I'm only going to need one bucket. If you're in survival, you're going to need a bucket of water for each block that you go up here. Now this is super duper important, is that you put one block at each level. Each of these has to be a source block. You see the particles coming up when I'm standing on top of the water? Those are the particles you'll get when you go up. There. Okay. Now, if you notice, if I stand in the water, I can't go down no matter what I do. And that's from the soul sand being on the bottom. Now the up portion of this is done. If I get in, wow, works perfectly. So let's work on the down part. And that's pretty simple stuff. Take a look. All we're doing is transmitting a redstone signal from the top, where that pressure plate is, down to the bottom, where this piston is. So I'm going to just start placing these quartz blocks like this. There. Now we're going to put redstone on top of each of those. And I believe this is called a cascading redstone torch transmission thingy mabobber or something like that. Something to do with cascading redstone torches. And then we'll put the torches on the side here. See how it's activating the redstone each step of the way? And one right there. All right. So if we go down here, you can see that right now, the magma block is there. But watch what happens as soon as I step in. It switches over to soul sand. Whee! Now, if we did it right, it should go back down. And it does. So I did it right. Yay! And there is our elevator. Plain and simple. Now, remember I said I was going to go on survival before I quit the video? Let's switch over to survival. And, well, it's not game rule. We want game mode. And survival. There we go. Okay. I hate the way they set that up now. So used to typing, you know, game mode 0 or game mode 1 or whatever. All right. So if I go in here, works as normal. Zoom to the top. Okay. Now watch what happens when I get to the bottom. Did you see for just a moment I took a half a heart of damage? That's because we're coming down on top of a magma block. And the magma block causes damage. Don't get it on the way up, but if I go out, or if I go down, whoops, gotta make sure I step on that pressure plate. There we go. Now if I stay here on the bottom, I'm going to continue to take damage. I have no idea how to make that not happen. So if you have an idea on how to prevent that, please leave a comment and let me know how to do it. Anything that I would put above there is going to get rid of that water block, and then the water dynamic won't work anymore. So there you have it, an automatic water elevator using the new water dynamics of version 1.13. Now if you like this video, please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, or share it with somebody. And if you didn't like this video, please keep it to yourself. Thanks a lot for watching.